Oh, dance, Perry, dance. Come
I'm
on.
not dancing.
Come
Go
on,
ahead.
Perry.
Go ahead.
Let's see some dance moves.
No dance
Boom,
move.
boom, 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 boom. Take off your fanny pack. Like, you were like a striptease guy. Ooh, there we go.
Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny.
Going that. There we go. Got some. Who opened the bakery? We got some cake on the floor.
Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny.
Come on, let's see some moves. They call me Ricky Horny. That way. Can I ride the bike home? Do you want to eat the whole thing?
Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny. Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny. Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny.
Gonna keep that for her. It's not bad.
It's a nice one, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Ricky Horny, Ricky Horny.
Just clean it off a little bit.
Ricky Horny, Ricky
Can we
Horny.
get one hip thrust? One hip thrust. Come on. Yeah, there we go, Perry.
Yeah.
Hey, Perry, it's Tom. I'm just I'm going to do a little daytime quick goodbye after hours. I just want to say that was a really good job. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Is Garrett still there?
He just left.
He just left. Okay, I was going to say
Just left.
thank you to him too.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, Perry, you got balls of steel. Balls of steel to go in there to 7-Eleven. Because I got to say, me personally,
Yeah, well, you know what?
I wouldn't do that.
Because I'm forced to do all these stupid things. Balls of steel. Because I'm forced to do all this
No,
stupid
but no,
shit.
you weren't forced. You were paid. But either way,
It's forced.
no.
Paid or not paid. I'm forced.
No, you weren't forced, Perry. You weren't forced, but my point is, I'm giving you a compliment. Is the fact that you have the balls to do that, and I don't know if I would, even if I was forced or paid or what have you. It was really like the whole thing. Even like you went the extra mile, like when you put the pizza on the table. That was great. I thought that was awesome. I think you did a really good job, and I thought it was fun. That's the kind of stuff I like doing. Maybe we'll do more. Maybe we'll do more mobile stuff as long as we have a cameraman. Because I think you as a one,
Me and Garrett
yeah, like you as a one guy, like doing it by yourself, I don't think works
is not
as well.
Not possible.
Yeah, but we'll do.
Not possible.
We'll do that. We haven't done that in a while. I just it made me realize how much I kind of missed the mobile stuff because it was good. Anyway, really great job, Perry. Aside from your naughty thing that you did earlier. I think you
Forgive me for that, please.
I do, and
Thank you.
I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay? Thank you.
You'll talk to me on Monday. I'll see you.
Yeah, Perry. No, don't go trash.
Mammoth on Saturday.
Don't go trashing artwork. Don't go trashing artwork now.
No,
Okay?
look, he did a very nice job at what he did. I can say I'm going to trash what's on the wall that I don't like because I don't like what was to make my house like a freaking art gallery.
Well, that's what you were paid. You were paid for that, and then people are going to pick which ones they like. And I got to say, I said it earlier in the stream, but it's true. There are a lot of people interested in these, and I was kind of shocked. Like your kind of rampage in a weird way might have upped the value on some of them, which is bizarre, but that's just the way it is.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
So maybe
Yes.
that was your plan all along.
Well, maybe you're right. Anywho,
I'm still on the air, Perry, so I will talk to you later.
bye.
Bye. Okay. I just wanted to do that. I very, well, not very rarely, I never come back on the air on a Friday stream because usually these stay up on YouTube. But today, unfortunately, I do have to take this one down I'll just unlist it, so if like you're on a delay, you can finish it. But and then I'll upload the complete one later. If you tuned in late, we came on the air and everything was going fine, and then for the first time ever, as far as I can think, is I had to use the PCL kill switch, and the PCL kill switch basically is when I end the stream. Immediately and discard the delay, because we have a delay that's about 15 seconds, and if Perry would say anything crazy or bad, I would kill it. And he did. He said a bad word earlier when he was yelling at the henchman or the TMZ guy. And yeah, I had to utilize the kill switch, and that's why the stream went down. Not from any tech point of view, but yeah. What did he say? He said a bad word. He said a bad word. I wish there was a dump button like they use in broadcast, but they don't have it. And I've asked the OBS developers if that could be a thing, because then I could just hit a dump button, we could still stay on the air. But yeah, Perry said the hard F word. The hard F word. That's really the only one that I would kill for. No, not the N word. Perry doesn't talk like that. Don't be silly. Nothing bad like that. But anyway, they don't have a dump button, which would be great if they did, because the way they do it now is you can stop the stream two ways. You could stop it normally, which basically plays out the 15-second delay, or you can end it immediately, which completely ignores the delay, kills the delay immediately, and then you get off the air. And if there was only like, apparently, from what I heard from like OBS people, is you would need like an insane amount of memory and resources to enable some kind of dump button on a stream, on a live stream. So unfortunately, ending the stream is really the only resource that I have to make sure something like that doesn't go over the air. So today was the first day I had to use it, and yeah, and Perry's been very good about that word. He doesn't say it even to me. But although I will say, last week when he was on his tirade when he was in crazy mode, when he was destroying all the artwork, he did lay into me with the F-bomb quite a bit, calling me the F-bomb over and over again. So he's been pretty good about it, except I don't know, he was extra agitated the past week. So hopefully it's a one and done. But yeah, if you ever see the stream, sometimes the stream goes down for technical reasons. And then we come back on. We'll always come back on, or at least try to come back on. So if you ever see it just completely cut out like that, like end it, you know. And by the way, I could have easily pretended that it was a technical reason, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm going to be honest and say, Perry said a bad word. So yeah. That snowboarder shirt was awesome. Can we sell those? I would want to redesign it a little bit, maybe get a better design of him and maybe a different saying, but I did like that. Which hard F? You can put two and two together. Which hard F? The one that's not F-U-C-K. So that was the F-bomb. But anyway, I thought today was a really good stream. Despite that, you know, I didn't like him running out like a maniac. I definitely didn't like that he, you know, fell and hurt himself and cut himself, and didn't listen to me about running out. You know, I mean, because that can go really wrong. You know, obviously he's running after somebody that's kind of like, not kind of, but knows who he is, and you know, gets what we're doing. But, you know, if that's a different scenario, that could go really bad. But I think once Garrett showed up, it was really good. I think Garrett was phenomenal with every aspect, you know, between just the chemistry between the two of them, Garrett doing all the artwork hanging and the couch clearing, and then being the cameraman for walking to 7-Eleven. It was really good. TMZ people are pushy though, as you all know. If you've ever seen footage of a TMZ guy, they know how to get their job done, and they're not going to be bullied by these celebrities. Perry needs an in-person handler. Yeah, I know you say that. But yeah, I wasn't kidding though about that content house thing. I really would like to get Perry and everybody into like a content house for like, I don't know, maybe a week or so. We could just chill out and like we can invite certain people to come and hang out with us and like do that. It would cost some money. We'd have to like save our coins for that. But like rent a place, get like some streaming gear set up, and it can't be that hard. And have like some camera coverage, and have like a nice pool, and like just hang out and kind of have a barbecue and all things like that. And we can invite you guys to hang out at the house. So yeah. Can't wait for the NYC meetup. I'll figure that out. I don't know. That'll probably just be in a bar somewhere, and like we'll just hang out like in a back room, because I can't imagine we're gonna get we're not gonna get like a venue or anything. That's gonna be very laissez-faire, very very low key, a meetup. But shoot me an email. Just write to Perry Caravello Live at gmail.com if you're in the New York City area and you would be interested in something like that. I'd like to get a list together of people that might be into that. I'll announce that more as the time approaches. Rod's Hot Rod on YouTube, thank you for the super chat. This is for you, Tom. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It's $4.99, but I'm going to count it as $5. Thank you. That's really nice. Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it'll be some kind of local, some kind of place, maybe. I don't know. But we'll figure it out, and we'll get like a nice little group together, and we'll just hang out, have some drinks. Maybe we'll go live on Instagram or something like that for a little while, or do something. I know there's a way to go live on like YouTube from the phone. Like maybe we can do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We are going to miss a couple of streams that week, unfortunately. But anyway, my whole dream of Perry making money on PCL since the beginning is by the way, I should say this. I have really really good news about Perry's cousin Mark. If you tuned in on Monday, we did say that he had some bad news health-wise, and to have a good thought for him. He got slightly better news this week, so thanks for anybody who sent in some prayers and positive thoughts and all that. And maybe it made a difference, because he did actually get some better news this week, so that's on the uptick. We could find a Long Island venue, so it's close to home for me. That's okay. I don't think I'm going to be going to Long Island, because I'll be coming from Pottstown with all the PCL crew, so I don't think I'll be going to Long Island. Plus, where I am on Long Island, I'm in Westbury, and it's not that far. I'm not deep on Long Island. I'm not that far away from there. So I don't know, maybe we could do Queens or Brooklyn or something like that, one of the boroughs. We'll figure it out. I don't know anything about it. I've never done anything like this, like a impromptu meetup thing. So we'll figure it out. It's not going to be something you got to buy tickets for or anything like that. It'll just be a hang. Is Teddy back to normal? Yes, he is, but he also took a header yesterday morning. He always, when I walk him to the bus stop in the morning, he always runs to the bus. And I tried to like, hey, chill out, dial down your hype. And he tripped on the sidewalk and did like face first right into the sidewalk and like scraped his face up. He was roaring. I had to take him back and clean him up, and then eventually took him to school. But yeah, it was not pretty. But yes, sick-wise, he's 100%. thing. Will the live event with Bob be streamed? I don't think they're going to stream the whole thing. I think they'll probably pre-record the podcast version of the Uncle Rico live, but like the stand-up and other stuff, I don't think so. At least not. Brock Simpson for the $10 super chat. Thank you. Please, God, come to Tampa so I can be in the presence of my personal spirit animal. You're the best, Perry. We'll try to get Perry to Tampa. Anyway, like I was saying, like all the money Perry has made from PCL since the very start has gone into like a savings account. Minus business expenses and things like that, things that happen, and obviously taxes and all this other businessy adult stuff. But his cousin Mark, which is why I brought up Mark, helps manage that and basically manages Perry's finances, and has a savings account. Listen, if Perry had full reins of everything, I mean, you guys know exactly what he would be doing. He'd have a snowboard collection. It would be a nightmare. But our thing is, I want Perry to buy a house for himself, his own house, like not renting, but owning. And maybe another year or so of PCL. I don't know how long it would take, but I know it's going to take a real long time if he stays in Southern California, because it's just so damn expensive. But a place like Florida, and I'm not married to Florida for him, I just think it would be such a good place for him, because he could afford like a nice house, big living space and everything. And he usually fights things like this until he actually experiences it, and then he's on board. But anyway, that's the dream. That's where all those tip comments, all those subscriptions, that's all where all that stuff, all roads eventually lead towards that. Then one day I would like to be paid back for by my assisting Perry for all these years. But whatever, that's in the background. It's just really want him to get his own place. That is primo top priority, and just get a mortgage that he can pay once a month, and then have have a nice life. That's really all I want is for Perry to have a nice life, and and then maybe the stream grows bigger and bigger, and then we could all benefit from it. But right now, it's really all about Perry and getting him in his own place where he's not paying rent and he's not in some lousy crappy complex where he's at the whims of some landlord that can kick him out at any moment, or get evicted. It's like, no, this is my house, and I can scream and yell in my house all I want, and whatever, and hopefully he doesn't give his address out to the free world. So anyway, that's the end game goal, at least for now, of PCL. And I think Perry in Florida, Texas maybe, or listen, believe me, I anywhere but where he is now. Literally anywhere but where he is now. That's my thing. Somebody says get Teddy out of public school. I know. But he's in kindergarten, so it's not quite bad just yet. Yeah, Jim says Perry and Teddy both took a nosedive within 24 hours of each other. Yeah, I know. It's funny. I got annoyed with Teddy because he wasn't listening to me, and he was like running away, and then he tripped and fell, and then I didn't realize how bad he scraped himself, and then I felt bad. I was like, all right, but I think he learned his lesson. I didn't need to pile on. You will never see a single dollar, TomB. Well, we'll see about that. I've got faith in PCL going forward. But again, PCL's about Perry. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. It's about Perry. But Hurricane Perry coming to Florida. Well, he was more flexible on it today than he's ever been. He's more flexible on it today than he has ever been before. So that was a shock to me. Because I've talked about this with Garrett and with Jim privately, like the place I'd like Perry to go. Plus, his money's going to go further. The property tax is better. It's better for small business too. Even though Brennan Entertainment, relocating to Florida. Well, that would be, my situation's a little different, moving, but yeah, Perry in Cincinnati. I don't think you'll ever see that happen unless there's some kind of live show going on there. You're doing the Lord's work for him, TomB. Well, thank you for saying that. Look, somebody has to take care of Perry Okay, he's got the worst family in the history of mankind outside of his cousin Mark, but his cousin Mark can't do everything. And listen, Perry's gonna get old, and this is the thing, that people don't realize. I have Perry for life. Definitely. I hope PCL continues for years and years and years, and it is great and earns a nice revenue for Perry, and maybe a nice revenue for all of us at some point. If we can get certain things going. But despite that, one day Perry Caravello Live will come to an end, and I'll still have Perry. Whether Perry, gets, whatever. He can get Alzheimer's, or he can get, dementia. Old man Perry is not going to be as fun, and I'm still going to have that. And I am never going to be in a position again where I have to basically, sacrifice my life to take care of him. So all of this is future building, because you can be an idiot, and, Perry does make decent money off PCL, but, there's so many examples of people that, make money all of a sudden. Not that Perry's living in the lap of luxury, but they'll they'll buy stuff immediately because they have money in their bank account. You can't do that. You got to prepare for the future. So a lot of PCL, if you ever want to know where your money is going when you're sending in a $5 comment to tell Perry that he blew RC or whatever, it's really going for future stuff, down the road when this thing isn't here. You know what I mean? So that's very important to me. It's important to his cousin, and whether Perry admits it or not, it's important to him. So it's going to be rough. Yes, Perry. Somebody says Perry hates change. Absolutely, Perry hates change. So that's going to happen. Any chance of a future collaboration with Mole? Doors always wide open for Mole. Mole knows that. Mole watches PCL. He knows he's welcome here. Absolutely, would always be open to that. Perry in a log cabin in Montana. Yeah, it's got to be a place too where you're near a big airport where you can fly anywhere. Basically anywhere in Florida, you're close to a big international airport. You can fly anywhere. Montana, not so much. He could always move into me. Move in with me? We were very close to that happening back in, what year was that? Maybe 2017, 2019, around that. Perry was really close to moving. Let's put it this way, I was very close to just biting the bullet and be like, all right, Perry's moving to New York, and we're just going to be roomies. And that was before PCL ever was a glint in anybody's eye. So, yeah, there has to be a Hooters nearby. Well, that's the good thing about Florida. They have wall-to-wall Hooters, from what I've heard. A lot of Hooters in Florida, but we'll see. The humidity. He brings up the humidity thing, and it's a valid point, because I know it's saying. Hold on, Perry's calling me. Hey Perry, I'm still on the air. Can I put you on for a second? Well, hold on. What were you calling about? Because I'm still on the air, so don't say anything bad.
I need to go to.
Wait. Hold on. Oh, okay. Wait, you want to go to? Yeah, go. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Wait, say that again.
I'm going to either Nordstrom's or what's that other store over there at Topanga Plaza. Anyway, I gotta go get another set of microwave bowls because that.
Well, I was just gonna order you a set of bowls on Amazon, and you'll have it like by Sunday. Why would you go running out?
Then do that. Microwave bowl, and it's the baking bowl.
Yeah, the glass baking. Yeah, Perry, I don't want that to come out of your end. I didn't mean for that to break. That was the stream's fault, and I will take care of that on my end. Okay, I'll pay for that. Okay, so I'll have it sent to you directly. I'll remind you. I'll call you after, and
Yeah, I don't feel good.
I want you to lay down. Hey, I was just you know what? I don't even bring it up to you, but I was just talking about Florida and how great it's going to be when we go to the content house.
I am not moving to fucking Florida.
I didn't say, hey Perry, first of all, we don't curse on After Hours, and second of all, I didn't say any
Sorry.
I didn't say anything about moving. We're just going to do the content house thing.
All right.
Okay? Content house.
Forgive me for being abrupt and rude and ignorant.
100%. No, you know, I didn't call you ignorant, Perry. Just your hair trigger, like you're stuck in your ways, and that's fine. Oh, by the way, did somebody asked if there's a Sheila update? Did Sheila ever text you back?
Nope.
Okay, we'll get a Sheila update on Monday.
Nope.
But basically, if you go back and forth with her, all I want to know is if she's going to be willing to do the dye job on your hair, and it'll be sometime in May.
She'll do the dye job, but not on camera.
Well, then she can't do it because it's got to be done on camera.
She already told you she wouldn't do it on camera.
No, she didn't.
Well, she told me.
Well, you didn't relay that to me.
I'm sorry. Because I brought it up to her, and I forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay, listen. Did you tell her that we'd be paying her? Like, she could be paid up to, like, you know, again, it would have to come out of your cut of this, but if you want to pay her like $200, all and
$500.
that's throwing away money. She does not deserve $500 to do a dye job like that. Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, we'll be very respectful to her. She doesn't have to show her face. She can wear like a mask, you know, like a surgical mask, and I won't run any like Soviet goat comments or anything like that. It won't be like, you know, nothing to upset her or offend her. We'll be very respectful. But she can cover her face. It would be just nice to, you know, talk to her a little bit, get a little history, and she get paid for it and do the hair. But if she can't, if she's that adamant about not doing it at all, we'll get somebody else.
I'll ask her about it and see where we go from there.
Well, do not offer her $500 because that's ridiculous.
No, I'll tell her 200.
200 is the most I would go, because remember, that's coming out of your end, so you know you deserve that money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and she also deserves double that to me. Double what I normally pay her.
That's fair. You normally pay her 100, give her 200.
Right.
But no more than that.
All right.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go when I wrap up here. I'm gonna go on Amazon, and I'll.
Baking bowl set.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Hold on. Baking bowl set.
It's a Corningware baking bowl set.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and I'm sorry that broke. I am. I'll let you take a look. I'll let you take a look at it before I'm shocked that it broke too. You know what it was? I think it was so hot, and I think when you put it in the sink and ran water under it, that's when it cracked. Right? Am I right?
No, it cracked in the microwave.
Oh, it did. Okay.
And it caught fire in the microwave.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'll get a fire retardant bowl. All right, but I'll send you a link.
It wouldn't have caught fire in the microwave if there was a liquid in the bowl.
Yeah,
with the raw egg.
We should have done that. But okay, live and learn. And I will send you a link to the set before I pull the trigger in buying it, so you can approve of it. Okay. All right. I'll call you later on. I also have to edit this stream, you know, because you were a ding-a-ling. So.
Sorry about that. I'm really sorry. All right.
I know. Okay. I'll talk to you later, Perry.
You got it.
Good job today. Really good job.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I do feel bad that he broke his ball, so I'll get the... Yeah, I was thinking in my head, 10 minutes is a long time for anything, but the egg maybe I thought maybe the egg would explode in the microwave or whatever. And for $50, that's not too much of a cleanup job, but yeah, I think in the future we'll limit the microwave to like 7 minutes or something. But whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I would like to get Sheila on, but if she can't do it, I hear that Tony Hawk, in addition to also removing body hair, is also really good at dyeing hair. So Tony Hawk's our backup. But yeah, I do want it. I do. If Sheila does agree to come on, I would be very. Everybody would be very respectful to her. Tom, what's your plan for the stream after nuclear fallout? You won't get bombed in Montana. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I don't know. You know what? Like I said, I'm just talking about me where I would like to be. I would love to be in San Diego, but it's just too damn expensive. I could never afford it. I'm barely able to afford where I am now. New York is no prize. Swamp Fox, thank you for the super chat. Any update on when the phone conversation of when I found out that Perry went snowboarding will be uploaded? You know what? That's a really good question. I've had it on the back burner for a couple of months because it was in a couple of pieces and it kind of interjected with a call that Garrett and I was on. You know what? I'll get that up for April. Okay. Obviously today is the last day of March. I will get that on Patreon in April. I think I'm gonna have to record some things for it. I do have it. That happened. Then like the holidays came up and everything going on with my mom. It's just I have it on the back burner, but I will put up. By the way, thank you to everybody that signed up for Patreon lately. A few people this week, modest signed up, but thank you. And remember, I know Patreon had this pain in the ass thing where they would bill you the first of the month, even if you signed up like today, the last of the month. That would charge you for the month of March, and then tomorrow they would charge you on the first for the month of April, which is ridiculous. They finally put a stop to that, and we had to manually shift over to it. So now, whenever you sign up for Patreon, that's just going to be your bill day. So if you sign up on the 31st today, you won't have to worry about it until at the end of May. You won't be charged on the first automatically, unless you're already a Patreon, and that's how it works. But it should be fine. I got a lot of cool stuff coming to that I have to put up on Patreon. But yes, I will get to that snowboard thing. It's not the kind of thing where he blows up and it's like an instant thing. It's just more like shock and awe, like Garrett and I on the phone with Perry telling us about the details of his snowboarding trip, and we're like, ugh. So sometimes Patreon loses your spot on videos. Yeah, it's not a perfect system, unfortunately. Tom, I live in San Diego, says Gunzo. The weather is the best, but the city is not what it was 20 years ago. Yeah, I will say, though, that downtown San Diego, and I've been to San Diego quite a bit, beats LA, 1,000 times over. But I do understand what you're saying, that it was probably different 20 years ago. I was there 20 years ago. Was I there 20 years ago? What's 20 years ago now? More than 20 years ago. I was there 25 years ago. And it was beautiful. I always loved San Diego. One of my best friends in the whole world lives in San Diego. But even he is actually eyeballing Florida, because and he does pretty well for himself, and even he was considering moving to Florida because of the property tax and all that other stuff, and just the penalty of the cost of living. California is a beautiful state, but it's just too damn expensive. So I don't know. I don't know anything about Florida real estate either, so I'd have to really look into it. I just the other day, actually, I think I've mentioned this on other After Hours, but there's a different audience here, so to get a little personal, my credit was basically ruined when Perry lost his disability, because I had to max out credit cards, and I was always, one thing my mother always taught me, and this is good for young people out there, she always said, try to keep good credit, pay your bills on time, don't get a credit card to just buy whatever you want and then worry about it later. Make sure you can pay your bill in full at the end of every month. And I did that for a while in my 20s, and then I had my own business in my 20s, and I had a business card, and I really tried to be responsible. There were periods of time where I wasn't, but by and large I was pretty good. And then once the shit hit the fan with Perry, I had to get creative. And so I borrowed money, and I maxed out some cards. I had to cash in stock stuff. It was a whole thing. But anyway, it put me in a bad spot credit wise. Now, credit takes about 7 years to repair itself, and the past couple of years, even as recently as maybe 5 months ago, I tried to apply for a credit card and I would get denied, and which is a big bummer to me because my mother would be so ashamed, like to know that her son is like in his late 40s and can't even get a credit card. So I would always use like a Venmo card or like my debit card, and and that's fine for most things, but it's it's frankly embarrassing not to have a credit card. So just this week, because I've had a Chase account for the past 2 years, and I've kept it okay. It's not pouring over in the wealth department, but I was watching a lot of financial tip stuff on YouTube to kind of like how to rebuild your credit or how to get over certain things. And they said, listen, if your bank issues credit cards and you have a good standing with your bank, and you have X amount of dollars in a bank account, you can go and apply for the credit card in person at the branch, which is what I did. And I said, listen, I have a personal account here, and then I also have a business, and this is the business account, and can I get a credit? Can I buy a credit card? Can I get anything where I could just get some kind of credit card? And a few clicks and boops on the computer, and it went through. I actually got a credit card for the first time in years. I got a new credit card, which is a small victory from the nightmare of everything that I went through with Perry before PCL, when I was paying his bills and paying my bills also, and kind of like the water was raising up to my neck, up to my mouth, and into my nostrils, and so that was cool. Anyway, so a little small victory there. Somebody said, Rachel, I wish Patreon had a better way to look through old videos. Well, I try to tag them so it's easier to search, but yeah. Look, in the future, if things go a certain way, I would love PerryCaravelloLive.com to be the hub for like exclusive content like that, but that requires bandwidth and all this stuff that Patreon offsets for you for content. That's why so many content creators use Patreon, because they just use everything. How do I know Perry? It's a long story. I've told it in other places, but it basically starts with a case of mistaken identity. Perry thought I was Neil Brennan, the famous comedian, and got me confused, and that's kind of how that went. Capital One seems the most lenient for approving an application. Yeah, I just went with Chase because that's who I bank with. So I got a Chase card, which was great, and I used it for the first time last night. I'll tell you, I shed a little tear. I was like, wow, we've come a long way. I don't have shitbag credit anymore, so I'm finally working on rebuilding and everything like that. So that was nice. Episode numbering hashtags on Patreon. Which videos on Patreon are you talking about specifically? Come to Northern Vermont. Oh, coming from Northern Vermont to PA. Can't wait. Oh, that's cool. We're looking forward to seeing you. Yeah, get those tickets to theshuleynetwork.com for the Uncle Rico show. I like that Perry didn't mention that he wasn't going today. He knows that he's going. He knows that he's going to be there. So congrats, TomB. Thank you. Yes. You got to be happy about the little small victories in life. Where you can be like, you know what, I worked hard for this little thing. And by the way, like applying for and getting approved for a credit card is a normal thing for most people, most responsible people. Not saying I wasn't responsible. I had other circumstances, but it just made me very happy that I was at least out of that that hole of not being able to get anything. I'm not going to go to the show, try and get something up on Patreon that week. Yeah, we'll definitely have behind the scenes footage, loads of footage of us, like hanging out, behind the scenes, Pottstown, road trip into New York City, and then that whole thing, and, whatever we do in New York City. So, yeah. Why did they can Perry's disability? I've talked about it in great length. If you go to my YouTube channel, I think it's like YouTube/Tom_Brennan. It's on one of the very first After Hours. I went into it at length, but basically Perry got scammed really bad, where his bank account, everything got shut down, and it was a case of his disability check, which came in every month. And by the way, it was getting less and less. It wasn't like this what it had used to be. Like all state disabilities, they try to get you off disability. And they were trying to get him off for a long time, like sending him like, hey, you should go work, whatever. But anyway, with his bank account closed, the electronic payment had nowhere to go, and it eventually bounced back to the point where they just thought he was deceased, or it was no longer active, so it canceled out. And then there was a whole process of reapplying, and that's where I kind of go into great detail when I talked about it originally. But anyway, he didn't get it, and even at this point, he wouldn't be able to get it anyway because he makes too much. Now he makes too much money legitimately to qualify for disability. So, yeah. And somebody says California will do anything to stop your disability. Yeah, and that's what they were doing even back when this first happened in 2017, 2016. No, it wasn't. It's not unemployment. It's disability. For people who are considered disabled, they get a stipend every month from Social Security, and it was barely enough to cover his bill. I mean, barely enough to cover anything. So he's in a much better place now. It's almost, in a way, it's almost a good thing that he lost it in hindsight, because I don't think we'd be doing PCL. I really don't. Somebody says, I always thought his old partner stopped his disability. What do you mean old partner? No, nobody would have that power anyway to do that. Somebody says, I'm training to get certified in working in the cloud. Someday that might prove useful to you. I'll have an understanding of how to use it for business. That's very good. Yeah. No consideration for Vegas for Perry. It's close to LA, relatively cheap, 0 to mid. Yeah, it's a consideration. I would consider Vegas. Yeah, that's not a bad thought. Vegas. It wouldn't be my first consideration. And look, at the end of the day, it's not up to me. It's up to Perry. And I'm certainly not going to force him to move somewhere. But I think if he really, I wish he could think logically. Because you want to know what his reasons for not moving out of his exact area is. It's because he doesn't want to lose his hairdresser, which is Sheila. That's the number one thing. The number two thing, he doesn't want to lose his mechanic. And the number three, he would have to change doctors. 3 of the most ridiculous reasons on the planet. His cousin Mark moved up to Washington about 1.5 years ago now. So he doesn't have close family in the area. It's ridiculous. His reason. It's very frustrating. You guys know from from hearing him on the stream. It's very frustrating to interject logic to Perry. Just go off the end of the stream, see it's still going. Yeah, I'm only doing After Hours today because I have to take the streams down, and I'll just unlist them. So if you're watching it now, you can continue watching it. I'm not gonna delete it. But I got to re-upload today's stream because we had to start over. Oh, his old partner DB theory back in the day was he somehow scammed him out of disability. No, that's not true. Look, DB is guilty of many things, but not that. No, that's not true. Believe me, I'd be the first. I'd be the first to call him out on that. But no, that's not true. There's been other nefarious things on that side of the fence let's say. I did get reported for elder abuse early on in PCL, and that was definitely linked to that side where they were, I had to go through a whole thing, and then there was an investigation, and then let's just say I found somebody, at the end of the investigation, they gave me the phone number of the person who reported it, and it linked back to, well, I'll just say, somebody on that side. I'm not going to name any names. So definitely guilty of other things, but not for losing disability. No, that I don't think there's any one person that could do that. You can't just call like, hey, I think this person should lose their disability. It just, they don't want you on there anyway, especially post-COVID, post-pandemic. Every state is strapped for cash now more than ever. They want you off disability. What's the timeline for the PCL Content House weekend? I don't know. I'd like to do it sometime in the next year. Definitely not any time before, like, no time this summer. It would be into the fall, and maybe next winter would be the realistic time, but I don't know. I don't know. Not Mole, I hope. No, not Mole. Definitely not Mole. No. Mole's a good dude. Not Mole. Georgia, have I had a chance to get your email? Yes, I have got your email, Georgia. Thank you. I haven't had a chance. I've been swamped with other things, but yes, I'm gonna get it. Grass Valley Greg says probably such and such phone. Yes, you're correct. That's exactly whose phone number it was. I'm not gonna say it. It's in the YouTube chat, but I'm not gonna confirm the phone. But that, you are exactly right. That was the phone. Garrett just got home. I smell like a dead, burnt body. Yeah, I was singing your praises, Garrett. I was saying how awesome you were today. Really, really good. Really, really top shelf. In fact, if you want to call real quick, maybe we can wrap up with like a quick little chat. Tell me about how things were there today. I forgot how much I love the Perry being mobile, but I do think he needs a camera person. Perry is a creature of habit, absolutely. The mechanic thing is beyond stupid, but if you have a doctor you trust and have a good relationship, it's hard to want to go find someone else. Yeah, I know, but if you're moving, it's just one of the things. It's just, look, Perry doesn't want to throw out the cardboard box that his microwave came in. Do you think he's going to want to like readily give up his doctor and his hairdresser and everything else? So, yeah, I gotta see how I'm gonna edit the kill switch thing, because I think it recorded on my end. It definitely did. So maybe I just put like a sensor beep over it. Oh, okay. Garrett listened on the way home. Okay, cool. And he's got to walk his dog real quick. Everest. Tom, how does Perry know all these porn actresses? That's a mystery to me, too. I don't know. I know he had some dealings with porn stars, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe, I don't know. He was like a promoter for something. And he lives in the Valley, which is like, was at one point the porn capital, so I don't know. How long is the Pottstown thing supposed to last, and what time does it end? Well, I think it starts at 6, and I don't know what the curfew is at the venue, but it's probably going to be late, I would imagine. I'm going to say it's got to be a minimum of 5 hours, because you got stand-up, you got other stuff going on, and you got the Uncle Rico live show. I've been assured that Perry's going to get a lot of stage time. If anybody's looking to come from out of town and you're worried about not getting enough Perry time, you're going to get plenty of Perry time. And if you get the VIP ticket, you're going to meet him and stuff like that. So it'll be... I can't say that it's worth a 6-hour drive, because that's up to you to decide, but... it's not going to be like a 1-hour show and like, hey, real quick, here's Perry. Okay, bye. It's not going to be that. Yeah, and by the way, I really like co-hosts on the stream whenever possible. Like Garrett was off today, and instead of sleeping in and kind of just chilling out because he works his ass off, he offered to come to Perry's, and it makes a world of difference because I think Perry's a lot better when he has somebody to play off. Like Tony Hawk and Garrett. So I'm not saying co-host all the time. I'm not counting myself either because I'm not in person. Yeah, definitely worth getting a hotel. I don't know what the hotel scene is in Pottstown. It's definitely worth. Yeah, don't drive 6 hours and then 6 hours back. I wouldn't feel right about somebody doing that. Definitely get a hotel. Definitely spend the night. Yeah, somebody else says, let's not forget that Perry could have said hi to someone 30 years ago and he knows them and they're close to him and friends. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, Perry has very different, I'd say varied stories about him in the porno world that I don't know about. And he was a part of a gangbang video with, was it Jasmine St. Clair maybe? I might be getting that wrong. And he was, one of the guys that were lined up for that. And had some other things. Apparently, he was a part of other productions or whatever. It's something that he should talk about on this stream. Perry needs to get away from his doctor. He keeps getting COVID boosters. He's going to be dead soon if he keeps taking them. I'm not going to disagree with that. Perry's one of these guys, though. He's so, like if they announce, for however many, I just got a call. I'm going to go get my 43rd booster. He's obsessed with that. Wavy G can't afford Pottstown, but I'll fly out from Cincinnati for the Steelathon and Piss Shitathon. Well, you got to make your choice. Which one's more important to you? Going to Perry's place and stealing his stuff, but realizing Perry won't be there, or seeing Perry in person? I know, gangbang. It's such an ugly word, and I'm sorry for saying that because we don't go down those roads on After Hours, but yeah. I feel like Perry and Tommy Wiseau would be a perfect match. I don't think so because I think they're two different types of people. Like one understands why they're entertaining and one doesn't. What are the top 3 comedians on the bill? For Uncle Rico? Well, number 1, Bob Levy, of course, our pal. He's the top bill. Shuli, who's a great stand-up. They're both great stand-ups. And then you got Anthony Cumia, who I'd put 3 as far as draw. And I think he's been doing stand-up. I haven't heard it or anything like that, but I think he's been doing more stand-up. And then you got Casey Armstrong from the Howard Stern Show. They say that they might be adding other people to the bill. Tony Hawk from PCL World will be doing stand-up, and Perry's going to be doing some stand-up. So, and then some other people that I'm not as familiar with, like Mike Buschetti, I know of. But yeah, I don't have the thing. I don't know the flyer in front of me, but there's a lot of people on that list. Perry is number 1. Wow, I know he's the number 1 draw for us. Am I going to use the Tony Hawk stealing video when Perry's out of town? Well, I was planning on it, but now it doesn't quite match. When Tony Hawk... I shouldn't even get into this because, yeah, I was planning on doing something like that, but his apartment's going to look completely different now in Pottstown, so I might have to think of something else. Mike Morris. Yes, Mike Morris. You're thinking about sending Perry a Toyota truck 1 part at a time. He would straight up love that, as long as he doesn't have to assemble it. Is Casey born again or something? I don't know. I know he had substance issues way back, but he's over that now. Georgia, how likely do I think it is that Perry will try and punch someone in Pottstown if they say something he doesn't like? Well, I think we'll be around. He'll be with the PCL crew, so I'm gonna go unlikely with that. I'm gonna have a very keen eye for something like that. You know, if he falls out of line, I don't want anybody getting assaulted because they say something that he doesn't react well to. So yeah, I think everybody will be safe from Perry's vengeance or wrath, I should say. Yeah, don't worry. I got plenty of things planned for the, you know, some PCL things planned if we can get it done the right way for the live show. Bring the taser stick. I still have my Perry Be Good taser from TomB week. So yeah, I might have to bring that out. Yeah, I seriously got to wrap in a second because I wasn't planning on doing this. Plus now I got to spend time editing the friggin' stream from today. Can I repost Monday's stream to YouTube? No, that's on Patreon. Monday media share streams go on Patreon. They'll eventually go to YouTube, but way down the line. But yeah, it's only $10, Gunzo. Sign up for Patreon. You'll get all the media share streams you could possibly dream of. All the PCL archives that are not on YouTube currently are on Patreon, and as well as hours and thousands of hours of phone calls between Perry and I, and voicemails and other content that'll never make it to YouTube, and it'll always be Patreon exclusive. So I think it's worth the $10. If you want me to spot you the $10, send me an email and I'll hook you up. You can check it out for a month. But again, patreon.com/Perry Caravello for the best Patreon going. And I say that with zero hesitation because I myself have been a Patreon of other creators, and I have gotten very disappointed that there's not enough bang for your buck. There's not enough exclusive content. And I don't count having you get to see this video before it goes to YouTube in 5 days. That doesn't fly with me. You get way more stuff for your buck. Plus, yeah, After Hours. I have started putting, just by request. A couple of people have requested. I don't ever promote it or anything like that. But if you go to my channel, I think it's YouTube/Tom_Brennan. I have been putting up recent After Hours on there. So if you want to, this After Hours, I'll put up there later today. This impromptu daytime After Hours. Franklin says Kumi's been doing stand up and his act is much better than a 2-year comic. Yeah, I get that because he's a great talker and he's got great comic timing and he knows what's funny. So I believe that he could be a really good stand up. I love everything on Patreon. I love the Costco trip. Oh, you mean when I went to Costco and Perry and I just kind of geeked out on Costco? Yeah, you get Comedy Pure Resurrection on Patreon, which is Perry's really cringe public access show from the late 90s, early 2000s. So yeah, a lot of good stuff on Patreon. And I am going to put up that thing. Sometimes I get backlogged with Patreon where I still got to I had this call from a couple of months ago, but now it's kind of not present, not current anymore. So do I even listen to it or bother with it? But I will get the time where Garrett and I found out about the details of Perry's sneaky snowboard thing. There was a whole snowboard saga that went on Patreon that was really great back in October, November, I think, where it was just hours and hours and hours, and that's where Perry bought the sneaky snowboard and then had to return it, and then we got the point where he's returning it to the Val Surf on the phone, and I'm on the phone too, and he's yelling at me, and he always gets kicked out. It's good. I don't have to sell it any more than I have. If you guys want to spend $10 to PCL Patreon, not only, by the way, it does support me because Perry and I split Patreon 50-50, unlike the stream, so it does help me out a little bit, and I try to pay back in putting up good content. So please sign up for Patreon. Can we get a Perry and Garrett bowling stream? That's a great idea, yeah. Fire away, says Garrett. Oh, you mean Yeah, I'm gonna call Garrett real quick, and then I gotta wrap up. Impromptu after hours daytime. I never did. And this is rare. I'll probably only pop on after hours in the daytime if there's a problem with the stream where it's in two parts and I got to put it back together. Even then, my time on a Friday is pretty stretched, but I'm actually okay today. I have somebody else looking after Teddy, so I'm okay for like a little bit, but I'm pushing it as it is. So. Yeah, somebody says Lieutenant Lascivious says Patreon is where the best content is, best Perry content is, and I agree. You're really sleeping on it if you don't sign up for Patreon. For the phone calls alone, patreon.com/Perry Caravello. Okay, let me give Garrett a quick buzz. TomB, can you give Perry his Instagram password back? I know it's a headache for you, but those Patreon calls are comedy gold. Yeah, eventually. He needs a little break from it, honestly. And by the way, I've been monitoring Barry's Patreon as he's been away from it. You guys should see the real Scarlet accounts. I guess they don't follow current things because they would know that Perry doesn't have access. But Perry, this is the real Scarlet. I'm so glad to finally connect to you. Please don't pay attention to any other Scarlets. So already, like this week alone, there were like 5 fake Scarlets. And once in a while I'll reply and I'm like, hey, nice try, I get it, I understand, but Perry's not here. I am amazed, not surprised, but amazed this show came together. You mean PCL overall? All right, anyway, I'm going to call Garrett real quick. 5-minute call. Wow, we've been on the air for 5 hours. That's crazy.
Hello.
Hey, by the way, straight up, I know I've sang your praises a number of times today, but you really phenomenal job today. Really phenomenal.
Thank you. No, it's a fun time. It's every time it's like a rock concert. I come out, I stink, I'm sweaty, I'm just.
It had to be extra bad today because of the egg smell.
Yeah, my shirt stunk. I went to the grocery store to pick a few things. I'm sure I offended somebody, but
well, I know
sorry.
The smell of I don't like hard boiled eggs or that smell. Like, was it like that but burnt?
It was more of like a burnt toast and almost like a burnt bone kind of smell, like kind of just like a caustic kind of smell. It wasn't like your typical burnt smell. I don't know if it was because of the plate or the egg or what.
And I gotta say, Perry does not know how to put out a fire because, first of all, I never in a million years thought that thing would catch fire, but he takes it out of the microwave and he's almost bringing it to the camera to show. I'm like, just that's an instance where no, Perry, put it right in the sink. Put it right in the sink. Don't even. Because he said it was on fire. I thought he was exaggerating. I thought he meant just like there was smoke. I didn't even see the smoke billowing from the microwave. So anyway.
It's a shitty, or excuse me, this is after hours. I shouldn't use that language. It's a subpar microwave, maybe.
Georgia wants to know, what does Perry's apartment smell like usually, not counting today?
Normally it's not that bad, maybe a little stale.
Yeah, that's exactly the
all
word.
The dust and stuff like that, but
I always say I get a taste of sulfur in my mouth, if that makes any sense when I'm there.
Yeah, not so much, man. Maybe I'm just kind of used to it now, but the first time I went there, TomB Volume 1, that was a doozy.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think it was mainly the kimchi.
That's right. Yeah, that was Trial by Fire.
Weeks.
Yeah. Well, but then you were right back for TomB Week Volume 3.
And it was great.
And that was the, what was that? God, what? There was the duck egg. Oh, God. The egg with that, was it that not the surströmming, but that, what's that really, that fruit that stinks? The durian fruit.
Durian, yeah.
And I remember Tony Hawk was making those sandwiches. And I'll tell you when.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you when Tony Hawk really that was the first day that any of us met Tony Hawk, and when and I had my eye on. I'm like, okay, this guy seems to get it right away. He clicked in right away. But when he started making those sandwiches and then was eating it right along with Perry, I was like, wow, this guy is hardcore.
Like, yeah, he earned his stripes pretty quick eating those. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because you could tell he wanted to spit it out. Yeah, he trooped through though.
And like he was acting. I forget. Like again, I'm just remembering being there, but and maybe people that have seen it more than once will correct me. But wasn't it the kind of thing where like his mother used to make them for him, or he used to make them for?
Like that,
yeah. He used to make them all the time, and they were great. So Jim says it was fermented duck egg, durian fruit, and Rice Krispie treat sandwich. Oh my god, how vile!
Sounds like a King Cobra special.
Yeah, and now Tony is the guy that just like he's basically like the Mick Foley of PCL, and that's a wrestling reference to a guy that just takes ridiculous bumps. You know, he'll throw himself like off the steel cage into a bunch of nails or something. Like he'll get Perry up to a 12, and will gladly take the physical punishment that comes with that.
That's true.
Where yeah, I won't.
He sees it through.
Yeah, I won't. He's basically like, if you and I are like Siegfried and Roy, where we're, the tiger will attack us every now and again, but we try to be professional. He's basically like the crocodile hunter, where he goes right in there and does it, whatever happens. And look what happened to the crocodile hunter. I hope he doesn't suffer the same fate. So, the other thing I wanted to ask is, how difficult was it what was your plan for, you took the artwork really seriously as far as placing it, like you seem to like be really thinking about it. Like where did that come from?
Well, don't want to let the fans down, and I know people paid to get all that stuff up there, so the biggest issue was just that Italian mobster picture that I totally ate shit on after I tripped over it. Could you see me fall?
No, I heard you. I didn't know what happened because Perry was blocking the camera.
Oh yeah, well as you know, it's a tight squeeze in there, and I forgot that I had put it in a certain place and totally ate shit, and maybe bended one of the posters again, but you really can't tell. But no, I mean, just wanted to make it all visually appeasing. Some things kind of cover each other, I guess, but you'd have to like dig deep to like in the photos to find out. But it was just it was a challenge in my mind. It was kind of like Tetris. It was like, how can I fit all this stuff in there? But like I said before, I used to work retail, and all the time you get boxes and stuff that you're supposed to like pack into a certain place. So I think some of that came into play too, and just in the zone, I guess.
And by the way, that couch was cleaned up in like less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, literally 2 trash bags full of just toys and shirts and costumes.
And all he had to do was do that and organize it, and then just go through the stuff like, okay, I don't need this anymore, because he always blames me in the stream, like, oh, my couch is filled with crap. And I'm like, well, who's asking you to keep this stuff? The only thing I've ever like said, I'm very specific when he opens mailbag, like, oh, keep obviously if it's a painting, keep that. But like, I don't know, like very rare, like maybe like once in a while something else will come up that he'll want to keep. But geez Louise, the stuff like that, I don't even remember him getting that life preserver.
No, I don't either. And like there's just a bunch of empty boxes. Like I thought those boxes were for something. Apparently they're not.
Yeah. Like,
all he has to do is just throw them in the dumpster, and then people could actually sit on that couch.
Yeah, exactly. And then like he'll throw like shirts that he gets in the mail, like T-shirts, whatever. But just put that in your closet or something.
Yeah, he's a baby mama's boy. He wants people to do stuff for him because obviously it's gotten him this far. But he's just so blindly afraid of the unknown, even if it's just throwing trash away. You know what?
That's a good way to put it. That's right. Somebody said, "Where do you bid on the artwork?" Haven't set up anything formal yet. We did have an auction email, but it would just be much easier if you just wrote to perrycaravellolive@gmail.com. perrycaravellolive@gmail.com for if you have a painting that's in Perry's place that you see and you like it, make an offer and we'll see what happens.
I think Everest wants to say hello. Say hello, Everest.
Oh, I hear him.
Well, now he's not. Come on, say hi. No, he's down. Sorry.
the official mascot of PCL.
Yeah, but I was really worried about him. He's had issues before, and everybody knows. And I want to thank everyone so much, whoever contributed to the tennis ball incident.
Oh, that's right.
That was just a real, weird thing. But he had this paw problem, and it was just on one paw, and it was like some kind of fungal thing. And I was like, it's probably not that big of a deal. We put him on antibiotics. Next thing you know, it's on every single paw. And it was just
my God,
or a bloody mess for almost over a month. I thought it was never going to get better. If he just walked around, it would just open the wounds down there, and there was just blood all over the floor and stuff like that. I was panicking because I was like, I don't know what is going on with this dog, but I thank our lucky stars that he's finally over that.
Thank God.
He's a tough dog, He's been through so much already.
Through a lot in a very short period of time.
So I don't wish that on anyone's pet. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was just really nasty, and really, really worried about it. But now he's, now he wants to play ball as opposed to just lay around. So
as long as he's not eating it.
No. I think we've gone past that, hopefully. But he likes to keep things interesting. So, but.
Somebody says we should make Perry eat a tennis ball. I don't think that would go well either.
Maybe we could get I know those people make cakes that look like other things. Maybe we get someone to make a donut or a cake that looks like a tennis ball and you could eat that.
Yeah. Somebody says, just discovered Perry a few weeks ago and have been watching nonstop. Thank you. You guys are incredible and deserve much success. Does Patreon have the most content? I don't know about the most content, but it has a lot of exclusive content. I feel like I've pitched Patreon to death today. So, yeah, a lot of things like phone calls and hours of stuff. Perry's old public access show. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. I'll personally.
Yeah, the phone calls are great.
Yeah, and they're hit and miss. Sometimes, I'll be talking to him and I'll be like, oh, this could be good for Patreon, and then I'll just peter out no, this is boring. I'm not going to put this on Patreon. But every now and then, I know the ones that are going to make it to Patreon. But yeah, I'll personally refund you if you think that Patreon is, in your honest opinion, if you think our Patreon is not up to snuff. But somebody says YouTube chat deserves to be on screen. Yeah, I've explained that. It's you got to log into one or the other. Unfortunately, you got to log into Twitch or YouTube, and YouTube doesn't support a lot of the things that Twitch supports, like media share. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. How was the mobile trip to 7-Eleven? I thought that worked really well.
It was good. It was a beautiful day. Perry looked great. He kind of looks like a sombrero, that the pizza fedora.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he had the cape on, but that you could tell the cashier, which he just wasn't having it. Either he was just over his job.
Well, look at what that location is. Think about the things that's probably the 17th craziest thing he saw today.
Yeah, and you could tell he just wasn't having any part of it, But Perry being Perry, he goes for it.
He went for it. When he put the pizza down and started eating it and still talking, I was like, man, that's my guy. He's going for it.
Yeah, because I think I overheard you. It takes balls to do that.
It does.
And even for me, just to film it, it's
because you're kind of cringing
awkward
inside, and I've been there. Where you're kind of cringing, but you kind of have to fight through that cringe, and he does. It also takes the fact that Perry's completely bereft of shame. That helps too. But yeah, somebody says I tried your sandwich ideas, and it's a game changer. Thanks. What sandwich ideas? I don't remember. But yeah, and I would like to do more of that in the future. Maybe obviously not every week, but maybe some mobile stuff. Maybe the PCL gang go bowling. Tony Hawk, Perry, you, and we could just whatever.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to make it work a little better with getting kind of maybe clip-on mics for everybody, so the sound's a little better.
Right.
But other than that.
No, I think it can be done, but it was fun. It was fun getting out there, and it's fun to do that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it looked decent.
It looked because you were there. If it was him on his own, it would be unbearable. But
like awkward camera angles where you can't see what's going on.
Doesn't matter. Just the fact that Perry was fully in frame and we could see Perry, like even the way he like when he darted across the street. Like imagine how bad that would look like if he was the one holding the camera. You'd go dizzy, even with the gimbal.
It would have been Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, absolutely, even with the Steadicam thing on. So, yeah, you being a part of that was great. And like, I'm up for as many mobile things as you want to do. Like we've talked about different things. Like I thought it'd be funny for like Perry and Garrett to go to like an escape room or something like that. We'll figure things out. But yeah,
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Somebody says, I made a crappy version of the video game stream. If y'all dig it, let me know. If you ever need music, old school fan looking to help. Yeah, sure. Shoot me an email. PerryCaravello@gmail.com.
I actually heard it and I liked it a lot. Actually,
This guy, what he's talking about?
Yeah, there's a few notes because what is perfect, but I think he had like the cadence of the intro down. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe I'll see. I think I may have even recorded it on my phone. Maybe I'll send it to you, and then you can.
Okay.
So I think I meant to, just whatever.
Yeah. So. No, I got to jump off. But anyway, Garrett, without overstating it, you were look, Perry was very volatile today, opening up, and I think you kind of tamed the beast a little bit. And you know what I love? This is not something I get to articulate too much. This is what I love. I love when you're just sitting next to him and he's going through the tip comments and he just gives you a side-eye look like, can you believe this?
Yeah.
Like,
I like that too, because it's just easy just to mimic, because I like to be on his side.
Of course.
He takes so much crap and, I'll poke fun every now and again, but when you first get introduced to Perry, like it's almost like a Don Rickles thing. Like you kind of want him to yell at you. Like you kind of want to get
right. That's a great comparison.
You want to get your comeuppance from him.
Yeah.
But luckily I've had enough experiences with him to where I don't know. I'd consider Perry a friend. We hang out, we talk. He called me last night while I was at the gym, and he's like, and he left me a voicemail. He's like, I'm going to bed soon. I just want to talk about tomorrow. I'm taking down my Hooters calendar because I don't want you to steal it. And I was like, what? Why would I steal your Hooters calendar? And he goes, I don't know.
Yeah, but it was gone when the stream started. It was in a safe place. But yeah,
it's his artwork, I guess. He's like, I just have it up because I like my girls. I like Hooters. I'm like, all right, well, not that many people use calendars nowadays, but
I think it's good for him to have you there because it's like when he gets hit with like whatever, it could be a Randy comment or Amy, whoever, and just that he has somebody to play off. Like, can you believe this craziness? And then you handle it really well. Like and also it's good for you to be like. Because that's what I would always do when I'd be in his earpiece or something like that. And sometimes he just sits there and doesn't comment on anything. I'm like, hey, Perry, you got to say something. And then so for you to be like, you going to say anything to that? I don't want to say anything. And then after he says that, then he says everything. Right. This guy is disgusting. He's this or that, the other thing, it's just good.
And I know there was some flack for you, quote unquote, directing the stream. If you look at any reality TV show, if you look at anything anywhere, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be pushing the envelope or telling people what to do or keeping it moving. Yeah,
look at the dummies on any kind of CNN or Fox or any kind of news thing. They all got earpieces. They're all hearing some director being like, okay, the next thing coming up is this. Especially with Perry, and I actually dialed down very much on directing him because, excuse me, it was only when like it gets to a certain point in the stream where I can see he's losing it a little bit, or like not losing it. That's not the right word, but like fading. And then I would just remind him of who's this. Okay, this is whoever, Soviet Go. This is whatever. And then once in a while, I would give him something like that he would normally say anyway, just to kind of start the car. Kind of
right.
like
He needs that little push down the hill.
He needs to push
like,
down the hill, and then he's good to go for another stretch. But I don't think that's the thing. It's hard to convey to people that don't necessarily know Perry. But I've been pretty much going without it hardcore just to see how it goes. And he's been mainly doing okay, but once in a while he'll miss a subscription. What am I going to do? Am I going to pay every time he misses a thank you for subscribing? I'm not going to do that.
right.
So it is what I hate the saying. It is what it is, but with Perry, sometimes it is what it is. And sometimes the stream's going to start and he's just going to stare. And we'll get there. But he's then again, look, no earpiece today, and he's dropping the hard F. So
I know it's disappointing. It's like a disappointed parent. Like
I know, because he's been away.
He
I haven't heard that from him in a long time, and it's just there's something that's snapped with him in the past. I'd say 2 or 3 weeks where he has it in his head that he's going to be like sexually assaulted, or like he's like right back to like thinking that somebody's out to like grab his butt or something. I don't know what it is.
Or like the impossible thing of turning him gay. It's like, dude, you can't. That's not how it works.
I know.
And if that was the way it works, you would have turned, back in when the famous date. So. But you just gotta rise above it, man. You gotta shake it off.
And he usually does. I think it's like a period of things. He goes through these periods, and then he'll come out of it. But it's just I was very disappointed today when he did that. I was like, oh geez Louise, dude. Like the one thing, it's not. There's like a couple of things like you can't say. And Perry's not a racist guy, and he's not even like really. I know he comes off as like anti this or anti that. He's really not.
He just uses that because he knows it's an extreme thing, and it might change the subject, or it might get him out of whatever bind he's in. He just likes to throw
exactly,
crazy things. Like him trying to do things to himself or to other people. Just to almost take his mind off of like what is actually happening. It's just like. Come on, Perry.
100%, and that's kind of what it is. It's a defense mechanism, or whatever. Somebody says, "I prefer the live on-air directing for what it's worth." That's fair. I mean, from my point, I don't ever constantly want to interject to like get him to do little things, but whatever. We're rolling with it, so that's how it's going to be. But I don't want to be like, "Hey, Perry, set up. Perry, move this," because that would annoy me if I was like just watching the stream. Or listening to the stream, like, can this guy shut up? Every 2 seconds. But Perry needs it. Stop doing desk stuff. Stop darting. Stop bopping. Whatever. But sometimes Perry's gonna Perry. You just gotta let Perry Perry.
Yep, exactly. Perry is gonna Perry. But that's why that's why you love him. That's why we listen.
And he's different every stream. He really is. He's not the same. You're gonna get a different version of him. And I think that's what makes him so unique. So.
He is. He's the most unique guy out there. I mean, tell me a person that's more unique than him, and I'll.
Well, that's the thing when
I
think why people kind of like who discover Perry like recently, they kind of like, what is going on here? Is this guy for real? And then when they find out that he is for real, they can't get enough. But yeah, he's Perry.
And what's funny? Like, my dad always kind of throws in jabs. Like, oh, you hanging out this weekend with Perry? And I think it's secretly he's jealous. Because, like, he would like to, go to the movies with me or something like that. We don't live in the same state.
Oh, that's sweet. That's kind of sweet. Somebody says, I think TomB is too harsh on Perry. I've actually lightened up on Perry a lot on the stream. If you go back, like, 2 years ago, I'd be, Perry, I've mellowed a lot on my dealings with Perry, so and I try not to be too hard on him on the stream, but sometimes I just want the stream to flow on, especially when he's like,
you've lost that New York edge, Tom. It's gone.
Well, I'm gonna be in Florida. We're all gonna be in Florida in another year or two, so
dude, let's go, man. Like if PCL really picks up and there's somehow we can all maybe make a living from it, like I'm down, man.
I am too, and I don't think it's out of the realm of impossibility. and just somebody mentioned that Bob Levy. Like Bob Levy, actually, I was talking to him on the phone. I don't remember, maybe a week ago, and he was talking like him and his wife want to leave New Jersey eventually, and they all want to go somewhere. And he basically said he's like, where's Perry moving? I want to move near Perry. I was like, well, we might be going to Florida, we might be going to wherever, but he's like, well, let's go. So
that's going to be an interesting interaction with Bob Levy.
Yeah, in person for sure, especially if he's like chain smoking.
Hey Barry, you want a cigarette? I can't really do a Bob Levy, but
that was not bad. I've never attempted it.
But being a Stern fan, it'll be cool to meet.
We're gonna meet High Pitch Eric. I'm more excited about High Pitch Eric than anybody.
Is he gonna be there?
Yeah, he's going.
Oh my god!
Like he's not performing, but he's gonna go.
Let me borrow some money. Let me get some fish fry.
Hey Perry, how many cameos do you get a week? Because I get a lot of cameos on my channel. I bet I do better on cameo than you.
Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck am I? I'm High Pitch Eric, you motherfucker. I don't know.
Just you could just like write it like right now.
Alright, who's Perry?
Who's Perry? I'm High Pitch.
So that should be funny. Allegedly he's going. I don't know. He's not on the bill, but he's like he's going. So we'll see. But anyway, I gotta really jump off because I'm pushing it as it is. It's almost 6:00 here. But Garrett,
well, good job today, Tom. I know you give me a lot of credit today, but good job, Tom. Good job, Joey.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You guys are the
Jim.
cogs
It's Jim now.
Oh yeah, Jim. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Jim. I call him Jim when we like text and stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just muscle memory, but.
No, Jim got all the crowdsources for the pizza. And by the way, I'm gonna definitely get Perry to Venmo you your split of the crowdsource. Well earned. And I'm glad that he was so cool with. He had no problem with it. He's like, I'm not splitting it with Garrett. He was like, yeah, of course, Garrett deserves it. So I like that.
He's a good guy.
You know what?
He's a good guy. Like if you meet him one-on-one when he's not getting berated. He's like that kind of like awkward uncle kind of guy. It's like the lovable, screw up uncle kind of guy.
Agreed. Well, Garrett, you and Everest have a great weekend. Thanks
you
for everything, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you can get me that video stuff, I'll incorporate it into the re-upload that I have to do to YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'll Dropbox it now.
Okay.
The peanut butter ordeal, which was disgusting.
Oh my god, I was. Ugh. That's one thing. I'll like. Now that I'm not really, I don't have to worry about muting myself in Perry's ear. Like I can kind of like groan to myself or laugh like when I'm not on the mic, and I was really like, oh my god, this is like I was talking to myself. I was like, oh my god, this is revolting. Like if anybody's like tuning in, like I sometimes I see that stuff and I'm like, you know what? Somebody's watching Perry for the first time right now, and this is their first moment with Perry.
And what a moment to watch.
Exactly. All right, Garrett, Everest, have a great night. We'll talk soon. Thanks for everything.
Bye, everybody. Love you all, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Thanks, Garrett.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's it for me. This is an impromptu, rare daytime after hours. I don't know if I'll ever do this again, but again, I had to, stop the stream and start the stream, so I got to join them both together anyway. I'm gonna unpublish this, but I'll keep it unlisted. So if you're behind or you want to rewind or whatever, I'll leave it up until I put the new one up, and then I'll take it down. That's kind of the way it'll work. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for supporting PCL. Thanks for supporting the daytime PCL version, which is different from the nighttime PCL version. So we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy April Fools tomorrow. We love you guys. Listen, PCL would be... We're not doing any Content House without your support, so thank you. Thank you for supporting PCL. Thank you for supporting Patreon. Thank you for supporting Perry, most importantly, and everything else. Great job, Jim. Great job, Garrett. Great job, all of you. PCL for life. Hail Satan.